how did we get here? Why are we here? What are we doing here? The other day at my job, somebody saw me pick up a controller, and they just saw the way that I was holding it, and they were like, "Oh, he's holding it like that because he plays with that claw grip." And I didn't know what the hell that person was talking about. I was like, sure. I mean, to me, I'm just holding the controller, doing the things that I think are smart for the games that I'm playing. Maybe I should throw one of these in so I can pick up my audio better in case if it's not getting me automatically right away. I guess it wouldn't hurt to tie this up. Won't look as wild. Um, yeah. So somebody saw me holding my controller, commented, said that they recognized what I was doing as a style, as a controller grip style. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look into that, right? So it prompted me to look into it, and then as I looked into it, I was like, yeah, that's what I do, and I've done it naturally. I've done it naturally since the PS3. No, since the PS1. Yeah, I started it with the PS1 with Street Fighter and Tekken. Uh, and then the way that I did it just kind of adapted as I went through the PS2, the 3, the 4, and now we're at the 5. Um, because for this is the best way I'll probably be able to show it to y'all. Uh, so for me, it started out with me needing to be able to press almost any combination of buttons at almost any given moment, whether that was to for my character to defend itself or to like go on the attack, right? So I, ha- I have a PS1 controller, but it's in my storage unit. A lot of those combos require. I have my shoulders picked up because I'm trying to do this and it doesn't feel right. Um, because with a lot of those combos, you would need to press two buttons at the same time. So I learned to have the controller parallel to the ground, and I would be fighting with all of this right here and doing this right here. With Street Fighter, there wasn't really a lot of need for the analog sticks, so that's why it was more so just like this. My hand could kind of come this way, hit that R1, and I could be tapping any combination of these as I needed to. Okay, cool, awesome. Um, I see online where a lot of the thumbnails and talking points that I see, a lot of people will have their index finger resting in between these buttons, and I don't. That's not what I do with mine. That's not what I found to be most naturally comfortable. I actually just I hold mine like this. My weight is supported by both of these, which is probably not the best thing because after a long gaming session, my hand can cramp up. But yeah, I just hold on to it with both of these guys. You have both of these back here, both of these back here, and that's how I'm holding it. That's how I'm holding it right there. Um, Kind of twist it this way. I really started doing this a lot more whenever I was playing Helldivers. Hey, what's up, Brittany? I really started doing this a lot more whenever I was playing Helldivers because I needed to be able to do everything. And they very clearly do not intend for you to be able to run and put in stratagem commands at the same time. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Um, they clearly don't intend for you to run and use these directional buttons at the same time. So what I started having to do was run with my thumb, use my left index finger in the middle of all of the directional buttons, and then I have this guy back here for aiming and holding L1 so I can bring up the command menu. What is my favorite color? Shit, it's probably gonna. I have a lot of favorite colors. I really like black and green. Blue has its spot. Red has its place. I'm not much of a yellow or an orange person. Um, white has its place. What kind of game do I play? I play all types of games, man. Dark Souls. Dark Souls. I've not played any of the Souls games. I have a very, very, very short patience, but I would enjoy the challenge. I'll probably get into it at some point. Like if we can get the channel big enough to where I can convince myself to do some sort of a marathon, right? Or like a 10-hour playthrough. Sometimes I'll do like a 15-hour stream, even though it's not the best thing to do because YouTube cuts it off at 12 hours. But yeah, I'm not against that. There's a few Souls likes that I'm willing to entertain. But I've not tried a whole bunch of them yet. What's my favorite game like of all time? Man, Brittany. The first game that comes to my mind is Breath of the Wild. That's a really beautiful game that I seriously underestimated for a lot of years. Um, but there's so many games that I love and enjoy. I couldn't just pick one. You should at least try Elden Ring. I have heard a lot of good things about that. That is on my list. I think I might actually have it in my game library. I just need to download it. What is my favorite food? If you're just talking about a plate, like what kind of plate do I like? I really love tacos, rice, chips, and queso. For me, that's a plate. That is a whole plate. I'm good. Give me a glass of sweet tea, and we are all good on that. You subbed. I appreciate you subbing, man. No one ASMR. Okay, that's what's up. Hey, I'm glad you're here too. Okay, but I started this stream because I play with claw grip. I learned that I play with claw grip, and I want to contribute to the other people who want to learn how to do what I do. I do it naturally, so I just want to show you what I do. It feels comfortable, and I have a lot of great gameplay with it. You subbed and liked. I appreciate that, Brittany. We have 3 likes, 3 people. That's a 100% ratio right there. So for these guys, right? I do see sometimes some people holding the controller like this. There are moments where I will be holding the controller like this, but I'm not staying that way. I'm not I'm not just leaving my hands resting there. My index fingers come back up here, so not everything is just all here all the time. My index fingers do come up here. My middle fingers do come back to the back triggers, so I'm ready for all triggers at all times, and they can easily just slide down. I just slide my finger down into the middle, and I'm just kind of pushing. And sometimes it helps to not even put your finger fully over the button. Just put it like halfway over. That's enough to get a button press in. So you don't have to do such large movements with your finger. The largest movement that I do is just moving it from the R1 bumper to the center. That's it. I see some people talk about the wrists. However, you see my wrist right now is how I'm holding it. This is just this is just the way I hold it. I can hold it however, right? Because there's some times where you might be turning like this in the game. You can still do that with this and be hitting the buttons. Like you can still do all that shit. Um, I've never. I think I saw one time in a video where someone was using an index finger to move the analog. I've never not once needed to do that in any game I've ever played. If you have to do that, let me know so I can experiment because I've never had to use index fingers on analogs, but I saw someone doing that. I don't know what their reasoning was. I don't remember it. I just remember being really confused at like 4 in the morning whenever I randomly started looking up YouTube videos on this. Um, yeah, so support these guys. My hands usually are pushing in on it. I saw in a video where someone was supporting all the weight of their controller with their left hand so that way they could have their claw with their right index finger. Um, I've not needed to think about that or do that. I see where maybe if this is something that you're learning and it's not as natural to you as it is to me in this moment, maybe you might have some balancing issues. You might, and you know what? That's what it is. Anyone who's having to feel like they're balancing it more in this hand than this hand, it's because you're leaving your index finger sitting up here, and your finger relaxing up here is wanting to tilt it, because I can feel it wanting to happen as I leave my finger up there. That sounds painful when they're using their index finger. Yeah. Um, that is a frequently made comment, is that some people wonder about the pain. I personally don't feel pain. I mean, I feel pain as a person, but whenever I'm doing this, whenever I'm going through this, I'm not feeling pain. It could just be that I'm used to it, but like here's my finger. I don't have some sort of large amount of calluses or anything like that built up. No hideous scars uh from holding it like that. Um the part that's probably going to get the most tired is this part right here on your finger. The part that I'm using to hit the buttons isn't my bone, right? I'm using this little, this little dip, right? That's the best. Like if you could call the area between these two bones a dip, there's a dip right after this last joint, and that area, this area right underneath my fingernail, right here is what I'm using to hit the buttons. If I was using my bone, I could see where that would easily want to start blistering up. I probably even do occasionally hit it a few times like that, but I'm never intending to take that part of my index finger and input commands with it. Um, here, here's probably this is probably the best thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold my controller like this. I'm gonna open the game. I'm gonna open up Helldivers. Yeah, I'm gonna open up Helldivers because that's what I was talking about, right? And I'm gonna just bullshit a mission. I'm gonna just open one, get it started, and I'm gonna let you see how I start hitting these buttons. Um, I don't have a full on setup to show you this. I don't have the camera looking down, but I do this enough that I can put this completely adjacent to the ground. I can hold this in a completely unnatural position and still show you how to do the claw grip, or more accurately, how I do it. Okay, let's come in here. This guy thinks I'm coming to save the day in his mission, but I'll go ahead and mute myself so he don't hear me. He thinks I'm coming to save his mission because he put a SOS signal out, but I'm just doing a YouTube tutorial. uh, yeah. Okay. Oh, is he started yet? Okay, yeah, he started already. Boom, stamina. Whatever. We don't need anything serious. What the hell? They have no boosters? Oh my god. I jumped in here with some noobs. Level 6. Level 7! Oh my god. This is about to be a shit show. And I'm on Super Helldive? Fuck. How did y'all even get on this mission? Y'all do not belong here. Y'all do not belong here. The game does not let people that are this level on that are that low a level on this high a level of mission. Okay. Anyways, so fuck. I wish you could see the gameplay so I could show you what I'm doing in the game and how I'm doing it on the controller at the same time. Um, like right now, I want to throw in an airstrike. So I have to pull up the command menu. I'm gonna pull it up with my middle finger right here, and then we're gonna use this to claw input a command. Let's see. I'm calling supplies. Fuck it. Here's 500. Oh shit, there's people all around me. Oh my god. Oh, I'm trying to hold this where y'all can still see it real good. Oh, no, I almost just killed myself. Just digging around. Let's see if I could take out that tower. in a moment where I'm standing still and I don't have to move my thumb away from the analog, then I'm not going to. I think someone who's like dedicated to just completely playing in the style of claw would just like leave their finger there the whole time, even though they were standing still and didn't have a need to do it. I maybe there's a different word for shifting that grip style and not just using that one style. I don't know. I'm just trying to show you what I do and contribute to whatever this community is of claw players that I had no idea existed or anything like that. I wasn't planning on making this video today or none of that. I just wanted to show. Oh, there. Just like that. I just threw in two airstrikes while my character was still running. The game doesn't intend for you to do that. It intends for you to stand still and input the commands this way. But by having my thumb on this analog, I'm able to still run and arm my airstrikes and shit like that. Um, yeah. So I came in, I threw my strikes, we got that out. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm referring to. Go ahead and leave them in there. They can finish the fight by themselves. I fight plenty of fights in Helldivers. But yeah. That's all. That is just normal position. This can come here, this can come here, this can go any to either one. But most of the time, this is going to be coming forward. This will be coming up. So this supports it and this supports it. So this isn't doing all the work 100% of the time. These guys will probably do most of it whenever it comes to holding it. That's it. That is my most natural, just holding and waiting position. But I guess you can kind of see that like my my fingers are kind of wrapped around it. Um Maybe that's partially what gives me the natural feel. Whenever that person just saw the way that I picked it up and they saw me hold it like this, they were like, "Yeah, he plays with that claw." And I was like, "What the hell is he talking about?" But that's what it is. Claw grip. Being able to hit almost any button on your controller at any time. It's really helpful for shooter games. So I used it a lot through Call of Duty. I'm any shooter game I'm playing. I'm pretty much playing with claw, but it's because I want to be able to do more. Like if if it was actually me there in that scenario looking down a scope, I could in real life still reach down and grab something that's on my side. But the game don't just let you do that real easily because it wants your hands, your fingers committed, tied up in certain positions whenever you're wanting to do different things. Being able to do anything. It does give you a nice competitive advantage if you're like really serious into the competing side of things because you're able to do more than other people. Like you're outperforming everybody. Most definitely. Being able to put out I mean in terms of Helldivers, right? Being able to move and call in a stratagem versus standing still and calling in a stratagem is such a night and day fucking difference. Um, because there's a lot of times where I'll be running from a group of 30, 50, 40, 60 enemies and I want to throw a airstrike at my feet. But if I stand still, I'm going to die because they're on my heels, right? Like the bugs with their little tongues, their tongues are actively licking me as I'm running. That is how close these fuckers are. So standing still to call in a stratagem is just asking for death. Versus where, if you're able to run and call in a stratagem, you are able to keep fighting. You can move, call in an airstrike, hit and run, keep going. That's what this is good for. Versus where almost anything else in my head is just like a lot of stop and go. It's a get here, stop, input command, and go. Versus where with this, you're able to just do it all. It's just one fluid motion, one fluid process. It's probably the it's a motion because of what you're doing, but it's a process because of that outcome. Um, yeah, boom, boom. I really don't know how much more there is to say on this topic that I haven't already said. Right. This is how I'm doing it with this controller. Let's see. No. Here we go. This guy. This is how I would hold an Xbox controller. I've not held an Xbox controller in a minute. It's been so long since I've played a fucking Xbox game. Uh, but for the Xbox Series One SX, this is how I would hold the controller. This is where I just feel it naturally fitting in my hand. Wrap around. I got these guys here, these guys here, these guys here, so that way they can slide up. We have all triggers in action at the same time. Thumbs on analogs. This one, I probably really wouldn't feel the need to come down here. But let's say, right? Let's say that I was in the situation that I was just describing, where I'm in a situation where I need to move, call in my stratagems, and have the command menu up at the same time. With this controller, in this scenario, with this layout, this is probably where I would use my finger on an analog. This isn't going to give me very precise movement. I can feel my finger sliding back and forth on it as I'm wanting to move it around, but I could use it to move my character in a direction. I could use it to move away from danger. Keep going in the... If I'm just running forward, I can use it to just keep running forward. Pull up the command menu, and then start putting in commands. Slay, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I would do. Me naturally, if I had this controller right here. Fingers on triggers. Back here for support. Ready to just reach up, grab. Some people maybe don't want that extra half second to reach up and grab. They just want to pull and go. Cool. If that's for you, if that's how you play, okay, cool, great, awesome. That's just not how I naturally find where my fingers and everything fit on this. But I could easily see where this right here. Oh. What?
Wait, please can take off this trash.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Close one. No.
What are you doing?
Fuck. That's what I would do. If I had my hand right there in that scenario, that's what I would do. This is where I find that my hands just fit most naturally. Yeah. All weight, completely supported. Bam. Cool. Awesome. That's it. That's all I really have to contribute to the topic. Maybe you're a Switch player, right? And you want to know how I would claw that. They make that really easy with these. This is really similar to. I mean, it's like a perfect hybrid between both of these, right? Because you have where they place the analogs, so they have those diagonally placed analogs with where this guy's at and then this guy is at. Boom. So I would do the same thing with this one, but this has it's it's weird because of the way that it's not curved up here. It feels really weird to bring my finger down this way for some reason. But whenever I go to move this with the index finger, I have a lot more control over it this way, untilted, versus how I do with this one. Or maybe it just is because of how deep this part of it is. But yeah. Alright, cool. It's not really a whole lot more I could really say to that or add to that. Cool. All right. We'll probably be streaming later tonight. It's probably gonna stream some Helldivers. I wanted to play a game. I was actually that's what I was getting ready to do. I was sitting down getting ready to play a game, and then I picked up my controller, and then I had that light bulb go off. Like I should say something on how I do this, because there's a lot of people who want to learn how to do it. They struggle with it, but then there's also people who just do it naturally, who maybe at some point they were or they weren't told that they were doing it wrong, or that that's a funny way to do it. I know that I had a coworker one time. I picked up a switch and went to hit a button, and they were totally expecting me to do what everyone else does and hit that button with my thumb, which I definitely can. Don't get me wrong, but most of the time it's going to be these guys that I'm hitting like that. This right, that's probably the best way to put that. I will use my thumb to hit these buttons if I don't need my thumb on the analog. But if I need my thumb on the analog, that's whenever I bring my fingers down. I don't just have them resting here. Maybe some people do. Maybe some people find that really comfortable. I couldn't find this comfortable. I find this comfortable. My hands can be stretched out. This is a lot more comfortable for me. And then I can just quickly bring my finger down. You know, works just fine for me. So appreciate everybody stopping by. I didn't think that I would get 2 more subscribers that are doing this, but hey, I'm glad that y'all are here. Y'all are subbed. We stream all types of shit, show all types of stuff. I'm a collector as well. Oh, this was something I showed off on the channel recently. Oh, I haven't even. Oh, I can show y'all those. So I have this sealed Zelda manga set for Twilight Princess. I think that that's pretty cool. But here's something I haven't shown to the channel yet. I found someone who I'm guessing was a former AMC employee, because these were AMC posters. This is a poster for The Force Awakens. So let me see. I got this big ass glare from my monitor, but there's Phasma. Who else do we got? I think that looks pretty cool. I think that looks pretty cool too. They were AMC posters. So it had to be someone who was a former AMC employee, because whenever I pulled up to buy it from him, he had a whole stack of them. A whole stack of all of them. So yeah, that was interesting. Someone who had access to those things. And then whenever I was there with him, he had a few more things. So I got these buttons. These little inside out buttons. I got those. and I got these. So we collect things here, show them off sometimes. Where's the one I really like? Oh, I was wearing this one the other day, the Cheshire Cat. Uh, where's my fave? I got Mad Hatter on this one. But yeah, this person had to be an AMC employee. You can see on there where this came from AMC as well. But I want to find, where's the one that I like? There was one that I liked more than the others, but I don't fucking see it for some reason. Here it is. We're all mad around here. I like that button. I like that one a lot. Man. Cool. Did this one have a little bag? It did. So this one goes in here. Who's missing? Oh no, it's full. Okay. Yeah. So these are some interesting little collectible items that I came across. At some point, I'll do I have everything packed up right now, and I have some stuff inside of a storage unit. But whenever I get that room that I want, I'll get everything set up, displayed, put out, and I'll get to show you all the cool stuff I have. Because I have some stuff that, I mean, I think it's cool, right? Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have it. But I have some stuff that's pretty cool. Like, if you're a Star Wars fan, I have some really cool Star Wars stuff that I like. From my Rippaverse folks, I also have Rippaverse stuff, right? I love the trading cards. I need to go get the new ones. So, it kills me that I haven't gone and caught them the new trading cards. But I will. I will. Let's see. Oh. And then over here I have a stack of games. Oh. Oh, did I buy that one? Over here I have a stack of games that I bought. I totally forgot I even had all these titles. Fuck. Here we go. Resistance. Fall of Man. Spider-Man 3 for the PS3. Hey. I got the manual for that hoe too. Let's go. Oh yeah. God of War for the PS2. Oh, what does that mean, you do? Yes. Hey, I'm new here. Bluey Glue. Well, I appreciate you being here. We interact with the chat around here. I've had a lot of people come by the streams and they'll say, "You're the first person to ever like acknowledge that I typed something in the chat." That completely just blows my mind. I don't understand it, but I get it because there's definitely been streams that I've been in, said something, and nothing got said. That's whatever. But yeah, glad that you're here. Glad you made it. I was just showing everyone how I play with the claw grip style. I've talked about it about as much as I think I can talk about it. Do I like SpongeBob? I love SpongeBob. I think he's actually my profile picture right now. I should probably change that at some point. Maybe a lot of people are used to seeing that that picture pop up whenever they look at the channel. But I could probably make something better. I could probably make something from scratch for the channel. But yeah, I love SpongeBob. SpongeBob's awesome. Do I have? No, I do. I have a SpongeBob Funko Pop. I have Patrick. I have Patrick from whenever he was assembling the table, and he has like the board nailed to his head, and he's sitting there holding the hammer. It's that moment. I have a Funko Pop of him holding that hammer with that fucking plank of wood, uh, hitting to his fucking forehead. I never got to play this a whole lot growing up. My cousins had it, and I got to play it maybe twice. Realistically, once. I'll say maybe twice, because there might be a second time that I just don't remember. But I can remember, I can think of only one time where I sat down and played this game. Um, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. Oh yeah, the Scooby Doo game. Do I have a? I do. It has the manual for it too. Okay, so I've never seen Scooby Doo. I've never watched it, never seen it. The closest I've gotten to it was whenever I was a kid, maybe like 6 or 7. A friend of mine had I want to say it was a Nintendo 64 Scooby Doo game, and I played it for maybe 10 minutes before I was commanded to get off the game by my parents, who I like gaming. I love gaming. I'm a gamer. Um, Before anything else, I've come to learn and accept that. I've been gaming since I was 1, and the reason that I know that, and the reason I say that, is because whenever I was a kid, I have to tell this a few times, so I just kind of get used to telling it, which is good. Do I like anime? I like some. I've only seen a small handful, but they do interest me. Um, Whenever I was a kid and it was my dad's turn to watch the kid, he would have me in his lap and I would watch him play a game. So I would be looking at the TV, and I was able to make a correlation that whenever he was holding a controller in his hands and he hit buttons, that things happened on screen. That I was able to make the connections that he was in control of what was happening, and he was going through it. So at 1, I had seen him beat the first level of Donkey Kong Country so many times that I had memorized how to beat the level. It wasn't that I was some brilliant child strategist who could beat games at a young age. I just memorized what buttons he was pushing to get around what obstacles, and beat beat the first level of Donkey Kong at 1 years old. And I've been gaming ever since, right? Uh I'm gonna game until the end of me. I just am. In recent times, I've probably not been gaming as much as what I used to, but I'm also doing more. I'm just more busy. But me being more busy doesn't mean that I just stop playing the game. Um, I don't have a lot of time for it for the game. Um, but that doesn't mean I don't do it. Growing up, a lot of people would tell me, "Oh, whenever you get older, whenever you grow up, whenever you're an adult, whenever you have a job, whenever you have time commitments, you won't care about games, you won't play them, you won't like them." And that's just not how I've seen things play out. You know, there's a very small handful of people that I know who, as kids, played games and then stopped, just full on, hard on, just completely stopped whenever they became an adult. I've not I've not personally met someone who has done that, but I know that there's people who do that. People who, for one reason or another, I mean, for any number of scenarios, it could just be that they think that it's taking too much of their time. It can take a lot of time, playing games. Uh, my dad was a gamer. Yes, my dad was a gamer. My dad was a big gamer. I think my dad is the only person. Yeah, that's true. My dad is the only person that, to the best of my knowledge, like it's still current. To the best of my knowledge, he's the only person who I knew who was pretty deep and heavy into the whole gaming scene, from the 80s to the mid 2000s. Uh, and then, eventually made the decision to sell his stuff and put his time into other things. Put his time into his other family or his churches or whatever, his job, whatever, right? Um, that's the only person that I've seen do that. But whenever he did that, like, he was old, like early 50s, kind of old. So, you know, and then even then, I have a really hard time believing that he's just never played a game since then. He definitely still plays games, but maybe not video games, right? Uh, yeah, I've not had to think about that for a while, but that's probably the only person that I know who did that, right? Who made that kind of transition. Um, I got this one because there's a girl that I'm talking to that is really into Scooby Doo, and I have little to no knowledge of Scooby Doo shit. Um, she's not a real big game person, so I bought this hoping that we can spend time together on it and kind of meet in the middle, um, and just have something fun to do. And then this guy right here, a must-have for my collection. Oh, I didn't realize I had. Oh my god. Up your arsenal. Oh my gosh. Dude. Q Force. Dude, I haven't heard that in so long. Q Force? That's a great game, everyone. This is one of my favorite games. Up Your Arsenal was so much fun. Um, for a lot of reasons. It's a lot of fun for a lot of reasons. But it has some really good replayability to it. I like going through the challenge arena, uh, leveling up the weapons and all that stuff, man. So much fun. Fun to me, anyways. But yeah, let's see. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say about Claw Grip. Have I ever played Dragon Ball Z series? No, I have not. Dragon Ball Z. I think I've probably seen maybe 3 episodes. I know for sure that I sat all the way through the first one. The other two, I don't remember everything that happens in them, so I was probably distracted or uh, talking to someone or something. But that is something that I want to get into is Dragon Ball Z. Um, I really like their artwork. Um, so I'm hoping that they have good storytelling. I think that they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be where they're at. But I think it's a series that's still going on. Um, so I'm probably going to be really interested in the first couple of things that they put out. But shows for me can get to a point where it's like, okay, you're just kind of dragging this out to keep it going. You know what I mean? Never ending stories. Never ending stories to me are not the most appealing things. A never ending universe, that's a different thing, right? Because the characters have a start and an end, but the world can keep on going. Versus um, unending characters or an unending storyline that just never finishes. Like I think that One Piece is really notorious for that. Um, I wouldn't know. I think I've seen a fraction of an episode of One Piece, but that's really it. The video game series of Dragon Ball is one of the best fighting games. Okay, I mean I'm into fighting games. Oh, Amber Alert. Yeah. Amber Alert. Um, I'm into fighting games. I really like. I liked Injustice, Tekken, Street Fighter. I played a little bit of Soul Calibur. Oh, my phone's finna fucking die. I gotta get this shit plugged in. Oh, hold on. That was bad. I did not need to do that. There we go. Alright. Cool. Um yeah, I played Soul Calibur series for a little bit. Uh and Super Smash Bros. I never got into Super Smash Bros. Um Bungo Stray Dog. This is the anime you'd recommend. Okay. I will do my best to remember that. Um I tell you, probably okay. What have I seen? What do I like? The film for Ghost in the Shell, the one that came out in the late '90s. Uh, I saw that, bought that, watched it, thought it was pretty interesting. I liked it. I really, I the what one of the things that's most attractive to me about anime stuff is the art. Right? If the art isn't good, I'm gonna have a really hard time wanting to digest it, sit through it. Art isn't everything. If it looks fucking phenomenal, but the story is crap, the characters are crap, the world sucks, then I'm not gonna care. It's not gonna matter. Um, so what have I seen that I like? I like Ghost in a Shell, and I like the majority of the first season of Star Wars Visions. Star Wars Visions is a animated anthology where every episode is its own story, and it was made by some Japanese studios, and each one of them had their own art style. So I really liked the first season of that, being able to see so many different art styles. But I really enjoyed the short stories that they told. They really wanted me. They really made me want to know more about the world that they had set up and the characters that they created that will probably never happen unless if Disney gets really fucking smart. It'll probably never happen. We'll never see those characters again, and it sucks. But it's also really cool because it's like, okay, you made it. It has a start and a finish. It was good. Leave it that way. Don't ruin it the same way you ruined everything the fuck else that you touched. Uh, just like they've done with Marvel, like they've done with Star Wars and everything else. That was kind of a side rant I was going on. Uh, Main character, searching for meaning of life. Okay, cool. I'm with that. Searching for meaning of life. I can entertain that. Um, I can entertain that. That's fine. Um, if they, I, I can see where that can be done good. If it's done well, phenomenal, perfect, great. Uh, but I mean that goes for anything, right? Anything could be done good or bad, right? So it just depends on what they do with it. But there's a lot of possibilities for exploring the purpose, the answers, meanings of life. So yeah. Uh, oh, I went to I went to the movies because of the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith, and I got the popcorn bucket. From first season it's normal, and second season it gets better. Latest season is peak. Cool. It gets better as it goes along. That's good. That's a good sign. I like that as well because self-explanatory. It gets better as it goes along. Yeah, I'm totally willing to keep going along. Uh, but whenever you do something like Mando, right? Like the Mandalorian, for example. Mando was off to a hot start, and they fucked it up. They fucked it up so bad. It should almost be a crime to do what they've done to a lot of these great American brands. It's popular, but not very much talked about. I mean, that's cool. Uh, that's what's up. There's a lot of things that are definitely worth checking out, but no one knows about them. Uh, that's one of my enigmas or conundrums in business is that you know and I mean I understand what the bottom line of it is, right? Like I get it, but I'll see businesses that have great products, phenomenal products, world class service, all that great stuff, and they make lots of money, they sell lots of product. No, I'm sorry, the other way around. They they don't make a lot of money. They don't sell a lot of product. Not a lot of people know about their stuff. If it's something that's resellable, like food, right? Then they have that consistent customer base that'll keep on coming back from them. Versus where, let's say it's supposed to be a one and done type of purchase. I mean, then the game is you're supposed to always be looking for new customers, right? If you've already made the great product, then you need to always be getting new customers if the product is truly meant to last, right? Uh, but I will see a lot of what I think are just trash companies, uh, or companies that in my opinion shouldn't have the level of success that they do, but they have that much market share because they understand the marketing and advertising, right? They understand the aspect of the business that the other people don't, even though the other people may have the superior product or the superior service. The business with the inferior product or service is the one that's succeeding and doing well because they have their pipeline full, and there's typically people talking about what they do. Um, I'm going off on so many side tangents I can barely keep up with myself. Sorry to disappoint, but I haven't watched Star Wars series. That's fine, man. The Star Wars Visions, I know a lot of people who are Star Wars fans who have no idea that that series is even out there. I forget how I learned about it. I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, on May the 4th, is whenever they dropped that new animated series. Uh that's the only time I heard about it. But I tell you, those are those episodes are some things that I went back and I rewatched them kind of recently. Star Wars series. Oh, you haven't seen any of the Star Wars films? Oh, well, I mean, you don't disappoint me with that. Uh, I would strongly recommend that you do. I mean, facts. I mean, just facts. Okay. Um, if you go to a college class to learn cinematography, they often use Star Wars as an example. They will often be in those classes playing those films to show that this is how storytelling should be done on screen. Um, so I would, I would, you know, without getting into any of the in in universe lore for what makes Star Wars so awesome, I would say don't listen to my opinion. Listen to the fact. Okay, the facts are that whenever people want to learn how to make a good movie, the prime example, the number one example that gets brought up for them to model after is Star Wars. You know, a lot of the movies and stuff that we have today because the technology and the methods were pioneered all the way back when, you know, all the way back in the 70s and 80s, whenever these films were being produced. So it's actually really common. Like, I sometimes will watch people do like their first reaction on YouTube to the Star Wars films. I've heard that some of them aren't good. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. Um, I will often watch people's first time reactions to the films, and it's really common for someone to be watching the film and they'll say that's where that came from. There's a lot of Star Wars references in other films and other movies, and people don't understand that it's a Star Wars reference until they watch the Star Wars movies and they're like, oh, that line was said over here, or they did that same kind of maneuver over here, or they had those same stakes over here, or whatever. So, um, yeah, it's one of the greatest movie franchise. No, it is it is the greatest movie franchise of all time, and for a while, it might even still be, the most profitable movie intellectual property in history. Um, the ones that are not good. What about MCU? What about the MCU? Okay. MCU is one of those things that started off great, had a lot of potential, a lot of promise, and they did not know how to follow up uh Infinity War? Infinity War or Endgame, whichever one of those is second chronologically. Um they really just didn't have a good plan to follow up those films. Uh and the more you know about it, the more painful it is, right? Because we're talking about a business that has no problem spending hundreds of millions of dollars in production alone, not even in advertising, that will sit there and spend all that money for the films to turn out the way that they do. You know, there are people that work on these projects that propose ideas, great ideas, and they tend to have those ideas dissected to where the dissector, I will not name the dissector, but the dissector will take key parts of those ideas and then try and implement them in their own way. And what they fail to look at and see is that the reason why all that worked is because of the small stuff that was in between. So that's why sometimes whenever you watch these movies, we kind of skip around from big event to big event with a whole bunch of nothing in the middle, and it all feels hollow. It doesn't contain substance. Let's see here. They're connecting everything. Yeah, and I mean that's part of what they that is the corner that they've backed themselves into. That is their own fault. Um there are people in positions like myself, right? Someone like me who's been really tuned out of the MCU. And I know about what happens with it because I see people make reviews and such on it, and my opinions aren't copy and paste opinions of the people that I watch, right? I can sit there, watch something, have my own opinion on it, listen to your opinion, and still have my own opinion, right? Um, Sitting there and watching what's happening, it's like, okay, for someone like me who's been disconnected from it for a while, not actually sat down and watched Marvel anything for a minute, if I want to jump back into it, there is so much homework that I have to do to figure out the stakes, what the fuck is going on, who even are these characters, and all this other stuff. Um, there's so many things I have to watch beforehand going into the movie just to watch the movie. And I'm not trying to do all that. Uh, but I could see where in this streaming world that we have, and there are corporations trying to maximize it. That's the nicest, most accurate word I can think of. They're trying to maximize the streaming economy. And if I'm interested in watching one movie, but for me to watch that one movie, I need to go back and watch all the rest of them. They make more money off of me sitting here and streaming all the rest of those episodes and everything to get caught up to go watch the other thing. Um, because of the data, right? Because of the data. Same as social media, anything that uses internet. People are taking the data and selling the data. So I could see where things have been intentionally set up, possibly, most likely, intentionally set up to where if you want to go and join the hype train for whatever big Marvel movie's gonna be coming out, that you need to go back and watch whatever it is that you hadn't yet watched. Um, so that way they could capture the data and sell the data. Um, back circling back to what I was saying right before that. Um, there are often really good ideas that get put out there and then they're dissected and turned into something else. And that's what it is that we keep on getting. We keep on getting that something else. That's why the quality has sunk the way that it has. And the probably the most prime example that I could point to would be the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Do I like DC? Yes, I do like DC. Um, I don't have something DC within my immediate grabbing vicinity. I normally do, but yes, I do like. I do like DC. I'm a big Batman fan. Love the Batman. Uh, Message redacted. How do I? Are you redacting your own messages, or is someone doing that to you? I'm asking because we had an issue with that one time, where somebody was redacting someone else's messages and they didn't need to be. What do I think of the new Superman? I'm not going to see it. Um, I would like to be excited for it. I really would. And I think that there's probably some people out there who are excited for it, who are genuinely excited for it. I'm happy for them. Great, cool, awesome. Me, I don't like the way that he looks. I think uh, the last Superman, Henry Cavill's Superman, he received a lot of criticism. He's not above criticism, okay. But he was good, and he did a good job in the role. In my eyes, he did. Um, there are people who see areas for improvement in his performance. I'm not going to disagree that there was areas for improvement with the performance. Um, but you have to understand that the actors are given instructions, right? The actors are there to bring a character to life, right? Bringing a character to life is whoever it is that made that story, you're bringing their story to life. So let's assume, and it doesn't always play out this way, right? But let's assume, like in the case of Star Wars, where the writer of the story is also the director. Um, that person is sitting there giving instructions on how to bring their world to life. Um, so, you know, sometimes actors will have their own ideas, right? They really adopt. Yanissa, hey, hi, how are you doing? Good to see you again. I love your beautiful face. I think I'll have to come next time on your stream, but I have sub to you. All right, man. Yeah, come on by next time. But what was I just in the middle of saying? Yeah. There are times where the actors will kind of do their own thing, and the director will keep it. They'll be like, "Yes, that works. That fits the character." Hey, yo, what's up, Yanisa? Um, and the directors will keep it. Um, so sometimes the actors can get a lot of criticism, and that doesn't mean that they don't deserve it or that they're just completely immune to it. But directors equally deserve that same criticism because they're the people who are directing it. They're the people who are giving the instructions that these actors are trying to follow. And then on top of that, right, you have your editing section of, okay, well, I did a great job, but you only kept all the bad stuff, and now the movie looks bad. So, yeah, there's a lot to keep in mind whenever you're considering these things. But we've gone off on a complete side tangent. that had nothing to do with what we started about, but I'm totally cool with it, totally happy with it, because I loved seeing y'all hop in the chat, come in, say what's up. Uh, really appreciate everyone who came on by and subbed. I didn't think I was gonna get me subscribers by doing this today, but I'm glad that we did. Uh, I should probably put a disclaimer in the comments or something that the conversation for claw controller stops at this timestamp. So that way whoever is actually watching it wanting to learn about claw can actually sit there and learn about it. But yeah, that's how I play with claw grip naturally. Uh yeah, that's how it's done. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go take care of a few things around the crib. And then I'll probably start a gaming stream. I'm not sure exactly what game. I'm looking at a few. Not sure exactly which game we're gonna pick. But yeah, we'll pick a game. We'll start streaming it here in a little bit. And then we'll just be waiting for the Helldivers crew to assimilate. We'll all join up on Steel's battle cruiser, and democracy will be spread. So yeah, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all stopping by.